All right, guys, welcome back to the FTF show. This week we have Ben Hess. Welcome, man.
Thank you for having me. I am so excited.
I mean, you're kind of in between shoots right now. You're on your way to, where was it again?
Yeah, headed tomorrow to Alabama for a Dave's Hot Chicken opening that I'm going to film, and then to Dallas to get some barbecue with a buddy. So.
I can't wait until my life gets to a point where I can fly to a different city for barbecue.
Just for barbecue?
Yeah, Nashville, baby.
So if you guys aren't familiar with Ben, incredibly talented cinematographer, DP, right? Camera operator. You're kind of jack of all trades, right? What's your main title that you have?
It's tricky, you know. Half of my projects I'm hired as a DP from other directors and stuff, and half of the projects I'm working directly with the client on a more like producer role, but then I still will come in and direct DP and that stuff. So, you know, it's 50-50. I'm a DP half the time, producer the other half of the time.
That's a pretty good setup, though. That's dope. Well, let's dive in. We got 4 segments that we're doing today. First is going to be dope or nope. Second is going to be epic fails. And then we have creative workflow. And then finally,
expert mode.
Expert mode. Jeez, I am having a hard time.
I should take that chair.
This episode is brought to you by Riverside. It's the platform that I use to record high-quality podcasts and interviews. On other podcasts that I've hosted, or even when I've been a remote guest, I've used Riverside because it feels like I'm actually face-to-face with a person on the other side. It's not just a standard video call. It locally records your video and the video of your guests up to 4K. So even if the internet is slow and your guest gets all pixelated, you can rest easy knowing that the video on the other side is still being recorded and uploaded to the cloud. What's cool about Riverside is it doesn't just stop at recording your show. You can edit your episode completely inside the platform. And you can use tools like multi-track editing, text-based editing, and some crazy AI tools like smooth speech, just to take out all of the ums and ahs. I do a lot of those. Magic clips, which finds highlights from your episode and turns them into social clips, and tons more that I wouldn't even have time to show you right now. Plus, you can add your own logo and other branding and then hit export without ever opening up your computer's editing software. I've even used Riverside for live streaming in 1080p, like at this event that I did last year, where I could record the feed locally, attendees could watch live, and they could even join in on the conversation happening in the chat. So if you're running a podcast, doing interviews, or even live streaming, check out the link in the description or go to riverside.com and use my code FTF20 for 20% off. You wanna go first?
Sure.
Go for it.
All right.
I'm gonna have Ben go last so he can see the format here.
I literally don't know this brand. It showed up in my mailbox. Okay.
I have no idea.
And then inside, I've got this magic stick. See that? Comes also with a separate attachment. Sorry, this is a buildup.
Yeah, this better be worth it.
This is a new mega vape.
Precision laser cut foam. I'm gonna turn this on.
Oh.
There we go.
So you can just haze a room handheld. It's like the Smoke Genie.
But better.
You think it's better than the Smoke Genie?
Because it has a light. But you can change the colors. I don't know how. I haven't read the manual. It fills my house.
There's
pretty
literally
quickly.
a sprinkler above you. I'm worried you're gonna set it off.
So we might have a hazy setup today.
Yeah,
but that's
maybe we stop.
But that's cinema for you.
That is, I'll admit it. I like the form factor. I like that it's just like that cylinder.
I'm going to buy this now. Send me the link.
Yeah, seriously. What's the cost of this? How much did I go for?
I don't know who it came from.
They just sent it to you?
I have to search like long cylindrical smoke gun.
All right.
And maybe I'll find it and we'll put it in the description. But
yeah, that's a dope for me, dude. That's
USB-C,
sick.
pretty simple.
I'm giving it a dope. I think you got 3 dopes on that.
Dope.
That's sick.
Let's see what Landon's got.
I mean, this isn't, I'm not helping myself at all by saying this. This isn't like the most innovative or crazy thing ever, but I think this is a really cool product. Obviously, you've seen an instant camera, right? Fujifilm. Do you call it Instax or Insta-X? What's the correct?
If you say Insta-X, you might have some artistic things going on in your head.
I've never attempted to pronounce it, so I don't know.
I think it's Instax.
I think no one's ever said Insta-X before.
I have to ask. I don't want to say the wrong thing. Anyways, this is a Insta camera, just like a Polaroid would be, except it is like hybrid. It's a digital technically, and so you can take photos with this tiny little lens right there. I mean, they're not like the best photos, but you can load them onto the camera, and then you can select which ones you want to print.
Ooh, that's handy.
So it's like on a normal Polaroid, it's like everything is going to be printed. On this, you get to pick and choose. And what's really cool too is you can connect to an app, and then you can print off photos from like other cameras or other things like with this style. And so we've printed off tons.
I did this for him as a friend.
Tons of photos. I printed off a lot.
I know,
Most of these are from you.
But these ones that I got from the interweb.
So like you can print off literally anything. So like
This is crazy.
he went and printed off like some F1 photos that look like they were shot on Polaroid. I love the Polaroid look, but it's not convenient at all to have like a big chunky Polaroid camera and then you get one chance to get that photo. With this, it's like you could shoot on your Sony, you can shoot on your iPhone, and then later just transfer it over, print them out, throw them on your bulletin board or wherever you want to display them.
For clarity, this is the Instax Mini Evo. You can get it at Target or wherever. $200. I made a photo of Michael Jordan, like an AI photo of Michael Jordan on ChatGPT, where he's celebrating, got like a cigar in and stuff, and printed it on that, and it looks sick. It looks like an old photo of Michael
crazy.
that no one else has in the world.
You could do a lot of damage with that, by the way. Like you could frame a lot of people and then just like
People believe it's real.
yeah, because it's on a Polaroid. They're like, oh, it has to have happened in that
Oh, dude,
moment.
imagine if someone time traveled with this in like the 70s, you know,
Dude.
like that detective
Yeah,
vibe. And they're
you
like,
could
but it's a
do-
Polaroid. There's no way he could have faked this.
It is dope.
Dude, I got 3 dopes on that one. All right, Ben, what do you got?
So
For
I learned I
example.
needed to bring something last night, and while I was already traveling, I happen to have my Osmo. So I think honestly, this, especially with like the landscape of things just going on social media more, and a lot of stuff on Instagram was even shot like on iPhone.
Yeah.
But this is kind of like just that elevated look. I love the Osmo Pocket 3. That's what it's called, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I shoot so much stuff on this, especially with like local retainer clients and stuff. Like just show up, the mic automatically connects. And what I love is, you know, horizontal, vertical, double tap it, selfie mode, which I've never used selfie mode yet. I will one of these days when I start vlogging. I don't know. I just love this thing. I shoot on it so much.
Yeah.
So
No, I think like
Little tip for you, the joystick, you can double click that to go selfie mode. So you don't have to worry about, or triple click it, sorry.
oh,
So you
you're
don't have
right.
to worry about finding it on the screen, little button, just so you know.
And like for instance, tomorrow I'm shooting, it's this grand opening of a Dave's Hot Chicken. And so what I'm gonna do is put this on a tripod and I'm going to select like the people so it will track them for me. It's like a little vertical stand.
yeah.
And then I'm gonna have my Lumix with me like 20 feet over getting like the close-ups.
Yeah.
So now it looks like there's 2 operators, but it's really just this little guy.
they're nice, dude. What I'm curious, like obviously the Osmo Pocket 3 has exploded, and like we were talking to some inside people over at DJI, and they're like, dude, we didn't even anticipate that. Like this just blew up. It makes me wonder why there was such. Obviously, it's a upgrade from like the Osmo Pocket 2 to the Osmo Pocket 3, but like why did people just latch onto the 3 so much more over the 2? Because you like rarely saw the 2 being used before. I don't know. I can't figure it out.
I think the 2 came out before the TikTok era. That was a big,
Yeah, we are in the creator area. I think it just spoke to that audience.
like, I mean,
super well.
Yeah, TikToker, it's like, yeah, outside of filmmaking, filmmakers are probably one of the least like demanding groups buying this.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like mom talk. It's shout out mom talk, but like
TikTok.
so many different types of creators love this thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's gonna be hard to beat.
It's an obvious dope.
Yeah, it's a nope.
For me.
Perfect.
It's a nope. This is too easy. It's dope.
Sorry,
Yeah.
I'm gonna give 1 nope today. Just kidding.
All right. Hey, well, let's move on to epic fails. I still have not thought of one. It'll come to me. Do you want to go first so that I can have a little bit of time?
Yeah.
By the way, these are the funniest, most embarrassing things that have ever happened to us on set. And there's plenty. Just when it's time to think of one, I can never. I'm actually about to ask ChatGPT, like, hey, is there anything like spark something inside of me so I can think of it? You got one ready to go?
I had one, but now I'm like,
Do you have
I've
one?
got embarrassing, but it's not funny. That's the thing.
I'll take embarrassing.
yeah, I think that's better.
I'll do 2 quick ones. Early on in my film career, I shot it's like a grand opening for some like warehouse, and shot it on my Red. And this was like my first time shooting for this client, and it was like low budget, so the stakes weren't super high. They weren't paying me a bunch. Go back home the next day, and then my buddy calls me. He's like, "Yo, dude, my camera's not working. Like, I don't know what happened." But I'm like, "Oh, let me save the day. Just take my camera." And I forgot to offload the footage, and he formats the card. And I'm just like, and he called me. He's like, "Hey, you didn't need any of this footage, right?" And it's like after he formatted it. And I'm like,
At that point, like, what's the point of the call? You didn't need that, right? Oh, dude.
It was so bad. It was like, and so anyways, I went home. talked with the client. She forgave me. She was like in tears. That was bad. And so, but then
Holy crap.
I took photos from the photographer that was there, and I was still able to make like a nice slideshow because I had my audio recording as well for the speeches they were giving. But that was embarrassing.
Jeez.
Another one real quick is I was flying my Inspire 2. I just got way too confident flying like blind, basically, just like not looking at where my drone's going. Hit a branch, and there goes my $10,000 drone. So I fixed it. And it's kind of broken still. I need to talk with DJ about getting it fixed.
You didn't get the warranty or
it is out of
refresh
warranty
or whatever.
period.
DJ
So,
refresh.
yeah.
Dang, dude.
So there's my embarrassing, not funny
You're
stories.
right. That's not funny. That was depressing,
Yeah, those are
actually.
devastating.
But like so relatable because I think everyone's done both of those things, actually. As you were talking, I'm like, I have like 2 drone crash stories that I could tell, technically. I have no fear when I'm flying a drone, and that's just gets me in a lot of trouble. So
Well, is it because you're collaborating, so you might be getting these drones at a discount, so there's not as much?
yeah, there's not a financial like
I think that's
You're
a big
issue
part.
here.
Of it.
Like I'm just having
flying
fun.
this, you know?
Pretty much, yeah.
That is probably a big part of it.
Yeah, probably. Did you have a story already?
This hopefully comes out like in a while. Obviously it will. Yeah, I was going on a shoot with my friend Tace Anderson, and
Shout out Tace.
Shout out Tace and Supercar on. Going on a shoot just for fun. I hadn't shot any content in a minute, and I was just like, let's shoot a car up a canyon. Turned out we didn't go up a canyon. We were kind of mobbing on the freeway and got pulled over by a minivan cop. And I was kind of pissing myself. I was a little scared. I didn't know what was happening. The guy got out, and he had a really strange beard, was wearing a weird tie and a baseball cap, and he was very intimidating. He was like, "Put your keys on the car." Tace is like, okay, and he's like shaking.
Oh my gosh.
And he comes over, he's like, "What are you doing?" Like all this stuff, and caught speeding, and Tace got taken out of the car and
Literally arrested.
yeah. Whoa, man. What the?
Oh, sorry. I thought that was the next thing you were going to
the
say.
build up.
Oh, my bad.
The story. Tace is back there talking to the sheriff. Showed up, and I'm listening from the seat. This is like 1,000 horsepower Supra that we were in. And the guy's like, "Yeah, I get it. You have all this power. It's hard to not go fast." And I get it.
Good cop, bad cop situation.
But let's have you turn around, and we're gonna put handcuffs on you, and you're going to jail.
Oh boy.
So it I thought he was
Real
gonna be
quick.
like really cool, and then Tace got arrested. Supra got impounded. Went and picked Tace up from the collection bail center later, and as of right now, his court day is in like a couple weeks. But
yeah.
this should come out after. It was really scary. I was just sitting there.
And then you had to be picked up by somebody else.
I
'cause
got picked
your
up.
ride was arrested.
Did you Uber or did you call a friend?
It's not really on set, but I'll give it
I
to
was
you.
shooting.
I had a camera in my hand at the time.
I unfortunately wasn't able to collect the GoPros. Those were locked up in evidence. But I grabbed the other cameras and said that they were mine, and they did not take them.
All right, I got something. So, and it's a drone related one because that's the majority of my epic fails.
Yeah, it popped up into your head.
Yeah. So when I first started, this was like 2017. I had like one of my first paid gigs, and it was with this roller skating rink that's like probably 30 minutes north of here. And I'm a big disco skater, love roller skating, and so I did that all throughout high school. And then once I like started doing paid gigs, it's like a lot of my network, to be honest, was just like roller skating people, as weird as that sounds. And so I hit up the owner or the general manager of this place, and I'm like, hey, like, would you be interested in like a promotional video or whatever for the space? And he's like, oh yeah, for sure. So I lock in like this $300 like full like minute long promo, and it's one of my first paid gigs. I'm so stoked. It takes me like months to edit, by the way. But I'm going to film this, and I'm getting a bunch of footage just on I think I had a GH5 at the time. And then I had a Phantom 2 drone. And so it just and I think I got it on like Facebook Marketplace or something for a few $100. I have this, and this is when like drones, like if you had a drone, you just you had to use it in like every shoot. Like now it's like I never use a drone. I have no interest, but like at the time, like this was like the angle to get because not as many people could get it. And I have this with me. We're shooting. It's like a Friday night, disco night. I'm shooting all this stuff on the roller rink, and I have my drone there. And for whatever reason, the general manager's like, "You have a drone?" He's like, "You gotta get a shot." in the roller rink with the drone. And I'm like, inside the roller rink? And he's like, yeah, dude, that'd be so sick. And I'm like, okay, like, let's just go for it. And it's like, in this rink, like, you have all these people going around in a circle, creating like these gusts of wind. Like, literally, there's so, like, it's a bad place to fly a drone. And I'm like, all right, whatever. And so I fly it up, and immediately, and I don't even know what the shot was. I fly it up, and this gust of wind just pulls the drone back. Thank goodness it didn't hit anyone, but it just flies into the wall, smashes it. While there's like, I don't even know, 100, 200 people like going around this rink, and it's just like on the ground, upside down, like freaking out. And yeah, that was like one of the worst.
There is
filming.
no way that disco skating nerds are creating like
Oh,
70-mile-per-hour
Trust
tornadoes
me,
inside of
dude,
a building.
They rip. And I think because I was inside, like the GPS wasn't working either. Dude, once you lose control, especially on those early models, you're done. Like, it's gone. I got so many drone stories, but yeah. So, I mean, you know, if you're early in the video game and you're starting out and you have an embarrassing shoot moment like that, just know everyone has had those.
Comment down below. We want to hear those.
Yeah, seriously. No, those are good. So
My words of advice is watch your drone and back up your footage. Have procedures and back up your footage.
yeah, honestly, I think most of my embarrassing stories, if I did either of those things, they wouldn't even exist. I would have no stories to tell. All right, well, hey, let's move on to our next segment. This is called Creative Workflow. So this is where our guests can actually like pull up a recent project that they did and then give us kind of a behind the scenes look for like what actually went into making that project. So you have one from Dave's Hot Chicken that you wanted to show us. And I was actually, by the way, I was pleasantly surprised because you're like, I did a training video for Dave's Hot Chicken. And when you said that, I'm like, okay, it might be kind of a lame, like sit down corporate vibe. And then you gave me a little glimpse of the video. And I'm like, this doesn't look like this looks like the commercial for Dave's Hot Chicken, not a corporate training video. So do you want to play that, or I have it right here.
Yeah.
I'll play it right here. We'll do a little snippet for you guys.
I'll just imagine I'm watching.
I'm trying to see something, still in my own lane. They did not see me coming.
Reading our guests properly is super important. We want each guest to feel like they just walked into the hottest party in town.
Hi, welcome to Dave's.
We've got an absolute perfect pair of slurry tenders gently laid down onto the flour. Then here comes the coating of flour onto those puppies.
Let's run that back in slow motion. Finally, let's bring the heat of the Reaper.
Evenly coat the tender with Reaper spice for maximum heat.
Now let's talk melting cheese. All right, okay. Sorry.
Like a zebra on the lookout for a pack of hyenas on the prowl, the French fryer must be fast and alert. Ensure the fried potato is always available for predatory consumption.
The distance must be so that each bite is equally heaven in the mouth.
Let's get ready to rumble! I have asked a certified health and safety inspector to lead your training today.
You did not. For the record, he did not ask me here. It is my job to evaluate this location today.
Mount up? Heard. Man, that tender was spiced perfectly.
You call that motivation, Private? Nothing is ever perfect, especially not this tender. Oh, that's really good.
It's about how you get from point A to point B.
Point A being our kitchen and point B being your mouth. What are we gonna do today?
Watch me do my thing.
I can end it there. Dude, it's so good. And like I said, like that feels like it's commercial level vibes. Like some of those shots, they look really good. And I think the writing is funny too. So walk me through some of the elements that went into that. I think everyone's going to want to know.
I'm going to start from how I booked the gig. You know, I do a lot of outdoor and product commercials, stuff like that. And I never really envisioned myself doing training videos, which, funny looking back, my very first gig when I was like 16 years old was like a training video. And it was for this oil company in town. And they wanted videos on like when you go to the gas station and like someone spills oil, like gas, like how do you mop that up essentially? Like it was a whole bunch of stuff like that. And that was like early on. I didn't even quote them at the beginning. It was me and my cousin. We said at the very end of everything, this is like weeks worth of work. We're like, would $500 each work? Like it was like the worst business advice ever. Like, so, you know, starting, I did a training video and lo and behold, like now my career, my biggest project ever is a training video.
Yeah.
And the crazy part is I landed this, like you never know where a job is going to come from. I met a friend at a wedding who I hadn't seen in 10 years. And it was like so nonchalant. I was like, hey, if you ever need any videos, let me know. Like I heard she was worked at Dave's Hot Chicken. And then like a few weeks goes by and she said, oh, we've got this event coming up. We're interested in you shooting it. So I talked with the president of the company who really liked me. And then about shooting this event, it was something else. And so then he calls me back like a day later and he's like, you know, I really like your vibe and stuff. And we're actually trying to get a few quotes from people on our training videos that we want to make.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, okay. Like, tell me more. And long story short, ended up booking my biggest gig ever from a referral from a friend who I hadn't seen in like 10 years.
Wow. Yeah.
Who, if I didn't say I didn't do video, like that wouldn't have happened.
Yeah.
You know?
That's crazy.
True shot.
And so you were bidding against other people on that specifically?
Kinda, I wasn't. They were wanting. It was me, and then there was a few client or production companies who all they did was training videos, but they were kind of like your typical boring training videos, which is what you mentioned.
Oh, that's what I was imagining, and then that was not a boring video in the slightest. Yeah.
And so I said, the Dave's Hot Chicken internally, their whole thing is blow their minds and make them fans for their guests. So I thought, okay, well, how can I make videos blow their minds? How can I make something, if I was an employee, that I would want to actually watch?
Yeah.
You know, not just kind of like doze off during the training videos.
Well, I'm curious too. Have you seen any of their other training videos that they've done?
They didn't have any.
They didn't have any?
They had some very basic ones, and they weren't very good, like iPhone stuff.
Sure.
You know,
well,
so.
that's what I think that's so smart. It's because you come in like they're expecting like a boring training video, and then you just blow their socks off. It's like now they're never going to want to have anyone else do a training video because no one's going to do it like Ben did. Right? I think it goes to show like there's like the generic way of doing something like what I was imagining a training video. And then there's you coming in so hot doing something completely different that's still like, it still accomplishes the same thing. And honestly, it's probably going to keep the employees' attentions like longer because it's so fun. So it's so interesting that you came in and you just threw your own spin on it.
Pretty much.
And now you're like irreplaceable. So walk me through this training video specifically, just on maybe on the pre-production side, because that's how you landed it, which is dope. And it just goes to show that networking and you know those casual relationships can lead to great places. And that's like over years of building that network up.
Yeah.
So when it came to like the the writing for that, the actual pre-production, getting the lighting and the locations and whatever, like what did that look like?
So there's 14 like positions at Dave's that they wanted videos for, like cashier, the spicing, the frying, like everything. So we basically had to make 14 different videos, something, and shoot like what's a theme that we could do. And so for a majority of the videos, I thought it'd be hilarious if we brought in these actors that acted like these, know-it-alls in the industry. So for the plating, we, instead of like a Gordon Ramsay, we brought in some French chef who's over the top, you know. And we actually did an airlines theme for Expo, and it's like your food is delivered. So it's like the food's landing, the plane's landing, all that stuff.
Yeah.
So, hired all these actors. I think teamwork is so important. I hired and brought on a few of my really good friends to help produce this and to help write it.
Yeah.
I came up with a lot of concepts, and I could write okay, but I got a writer who just knocked it out of the park. Her name is Lauren, and my co-producer Danielle, and the whole team, honestly. But once you wrote that, were you going back and forth with Dave's to like get approval on messaging? Kind of. Yeah, we kind of just went like over the top. We're like, let's just take this to the furthest edge possible with jokes and stuff.
Yeah.
And then we shot a few of them, had to dial them back a little bit, cut some stuff. Yeah. But yeah, the whole goal was just entertaining, educational, and it's like, it's not what you think your training videos would be. We shot, it was like 10 days or something like that consecutively. And then we were like getting behind on schedule. So I'm like, okay, we got to take a week or two. I got to cull through my footage, see what I need, and then we came back and got all the inserts. And then again, it would happen, like just procedures would change. We got to come back and get more inserts.
Yeah. So how did you manage? That's super interesting. Like managing a schedule like that, because that's so intense. Like in my mind, like I would go and maybe film a training video if I knew it was gonna be like a couple of days shooting. If it was 20, I don't even know if I could stomach that. So how did you kind of manage that schedule and like the client expectations? Did you find yourself walking away making less because of that difference in like timing, or like, you know, what that looked like?
No, that's a great question. I was with a lot of friends. My whole crew was friends, so that was really nice. And the hardest shoot days that were the most jam-packed were with the actors. So we basically scheduled it out to where it's like, we got all the actors' content out of the way, and like if we didn't need to be like spicing tenders if the actor wasn't in it. So it's like, okay, I can come back later and shoot that myself, with a buddy.
Yeah.
So that's how I kind of was able to get it done. And we did have to kind of go back and renegotiate just a little bit because it ended up being a lot more work than we thought. But
what was that conversation like? How do you ask for more money?
Hey, this is taking days more than we thought, weeks more than we thought. And it was literally like that. So
you
like,
said, hey, Dave, I'm going to need more money. You're talking to Dave directly,
pretty much,
right?
not Dave directly. We did get, there's 4 founders. Dave is the main one. And we sprinkled little cameos with them in most of them.
That's fun. How do you make that happen? How do you like kind of break the news? Like, this is going to cost a little bit more. And then you get a good result out of it.
Yeah.
I think at that point, they're probably pretty invested already. So it's probably not an impossible ask.
What we did was initially we filmed for like a day, and I wrote this like intro story script. It was like super funny, and it was more of like to test the waters, see how it's all gonna go.
Yeah,
it was either 1 or 2 days, I can't remember, and they like loved it. And so once they saw that, they're like, okay, here's the go ahead. Let's go ahead and do it for this amount. And I can give like rough number. It was a couple $100,000, and people might think, oh, like that's so much money, but I worked in this for like a year. So, and I paid a crew for a long time, for weeks on end.
Yeah.
And that adds up really quick. So I'm not walking away with I was walking away with a good amount of money, but I worked for it. I worked hard for it.
Oh, totally, yeah.
I edited for months on end, just straight edits, re-edits, revisions. So.
Well, I'm sure, a $200,000 thing, and then you come back saying, hey, can we have another 50? Probably isn't like the craziest ask at that point.
Yes, exactly.
Like, yeah, that makes sense.
I'm curious, like from your point of view, as this wasn't your decision, obviously, to put all this money into training videos, but like if you could kind of, I don't know, get into the mind of why these guys would pay that much for training videos, like that could go to a million other things. Like, why do you feel like they actually cared about their training videos, and could filmmakers leverage that and like go to companies and offer that?
When you sell a product or our services, you want to try to sell it to that they're making more money, And so in this instance, okay, it's not just training videos. When a company has to keep hiring new people, let's say is it high retention or low retention, whatever the
low
term
retention,
would be.
yeah.
Like it costs them a lot of money.
A lot of churn, people popping out.
Let's say customers have a bad experience, they're not going to go back, and so that has a ripple effect, and then their word of mouth has a ripple effect. So it's like that if their training is good, if their employees are treated well, and they learn and they want to learn, that has a really long-term ripple effect over. And they're at 200 locations. They're gonna have 1,000 within like 4 years.
Wow!
So it's like, this is big. Also, their marketing budget. Actually, surprisingly, their marketing wasn't as big as I thought. The budget compared to, let's say, like a Wingstop or something, like their competitors.
Sure. Oh yeah.
But it's like
much bigger.
So it's still, it's like they had the money to it. It's an investment.
Totally.
So it's like a work culture thing.
Exactly.
That they're trying to create with you.
Yeah. You're selling a perception, like a positive perception on your business, which you can't like quantify.
Yeah, it's really hard to quantify what this did, and does.
So like, and this is probably the last question I'm going to ask, and then we can move on to our next segment. But I'm curious, like, how did you pitch that specifically, like to get a couple $100,000 plus budget?
Yeah.
What was that conversation like?
I basically broke it down in my mind, like, okay, here's how many days I think it's going to take. Here's rough crew numbers. I mean, literally, it's just you build your budget, you build your people, you build your profit.
Yeah.
And then at first they weren't really wanting to go over like 100. They were wanting to keep it pretty low. And so, but then after we did that first video, that little test the waters, and it just blew their socks off, then it was like an immediate, like, here's the money. Yeah.
You just had to have proof of concept, and they're like, oh,
You just have to be good.
Yeah. I guess so, which is tricky because a lot of people
aren't good.
Let the man speak.
Yes.
But yes.
You know, a lot, this is going to circle back to my work that I do for all of my clients. I used to tell myself, like, would you hire someone who's had no previous experience doing what they're trying to like do? Would you hire a plumber? Would you hire someone who's never done plumbing before to come fix your pipes or something? You know?
Sure, yeah.
It's like you want to hire, if the person who's hiring someone, you want to hire someone who's got expertise in that field. And so that it can be difficult when it's like, how do you get that first job in the field that you want to work with? Long answers, but hopefully that kind of sums up.
I think it's the answer that like everyone knows. Like everyone, like if you wanna make a commercial for Nike, then yeah, you should probably go just like do a spec ad or something and kind of work your way up. Everyone knows the answer. If you want to work in a certain industry, you want to do a certain type of commercial, like you have to kind of put the effort in before they're willing to even pay you, like just to show what you're capable of. Because you're right, like if you're trying to land a deal, you want to make it as effortless as possible for that client to imagine their product in the work that you do. If you don't have anything in that category, you're right, like they're not going to be able to envision that, and it's just going to be a much harder sell. But yeah, that's a perfect segue into the next segment. Expert mode. All right, guys, if you want to watch the full-length episode with Ben, go ahead and check out FTF below. In the description, you can watch, again, those full-length episodes. You can actually comment and chat with us while we're premiering those episodes live. And in FTF, you get to watch them about a week before we actually release them on YouTube and ad-free. So go check that out. Again, thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.